We've just received some news right now. This is with regards to the traditional sport of Kambala, the hearing in the Karnataka High Court that had to take place today. The High Court has said, let us see what happens in the Supreme Court. 2 weeks was adjourned, the Chief Justice of India refusing to vacate the stay. In fact, now what the Karnataka High Court has said that they are going to just wait and watch for what the Supreme Court says, and thereafter they will decide what will be the next step. This is the India Today exclusive news break that we're getting to you from the Karnataka High Court. But I'm going to go straight across to India Today's Deputy Editor Rohini Swami. Rohini, just give us more details.
Well, let's break it down, Avantika. It's very simple now that the Karnataka High Court has said that they will wait and watch what happens in the Supreme Court, because the petition that has been filed by the animal welfare organizations is still being argued in the Supreme Court. And that deals with Jallikattu as well as Kambala. So here the lower court does not want to take a decision because the case is in the Supreme Court. Now the Karnataka government will move for an ordinance on February 6th. Like we have heard the Chief Minister, Mr. Siddaramaiah, as well as the Karnataka State BJP President, Mr. B.S. Yadurappa, along with the JDS leaders, also saying that they are in support of Kambala. Now it is up to the legislature to pass an ordinance. We have known that already the entire things are already in action. Mr. B.V. Acharya, the senior counsel, also is going to be filing a special petition in the Supreme Court asking for the lift of the ban on Kambala. So things are already in place. All that one needs to do now is to wait and see how the Karnataka State Assembly passes the ordinance. For the people of Mangalore, Dakshin Kannada, as they call it, coastal Karnataka, where I stand, this is the heartland of Kambala. They are a little disappointed, but since they know they have the support of the government for now, they are looking forward to the fact that the ban will be lifted and they can go ahead with their sport. And one interesting point, let me tell you, Avantika, that the High Court has observed is that do not use buffaloes. Maybe you can use horses, because buffaloes are not animals that you can actually race. And that is a point that has been made separately. But here, the case being adjourned for 2 weeks, so we'll have to wait and watch what the next step of action will be from the Karnataka state government.
Absolutely, but just explain this for me, Rohini. Will the state government not wait like the Karnataka High Court is doing so? It's being extremely cautious, realizing the seriousness and sensitivity that's attached to Kambala, a traditional sport, and after what had happened in the state of Tamil Nadu, will they still go ahead and promulgate an ordinance paving the way for Kambala to take place in the state?
Yes, there is a slight difference in the way things have panned out in Karnataka versus Tamil Nadu. In Tamil Nadu, we saw a civil movement. We saw people protesting on the beach, asking for an ordinance. The pressure was built up on the government and they moved for the ordinance. But here, taking a cue from what already happened in Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, the momentum is going on. It's a neighboring state, so you did find the momentum already getting into this state. And now people are already together. We saw a protest on the streets, but the Karnataka state government has made its decision, has made up its mind that they're going to lift the ordinance like Tamil Nadu did. They were in consultation with the Tamil Nadu government for this very thing. So now things seem to be pretty clear that the Karnataka state government, the Congress government, will move for the ordinance in the floor of the assembly and look to pass it on the floor of the assembly, and then they can hold Kambala. But it is also important to know that the judiciary is supreme. The decision taken by the Supreme Court also will be the legislature will have to follow. But for now, the legislature will take a decision on its own. But we'll also have to watch and see what exactly the Supreme Court has to say with regards to Jallikattu and Kambala.
Absolutely. And do you think that it will be unanimously passed as well, like it was done in the state of Tamil Nadu when the cabinet was called to, pass the ordinance? Do you see a similar situation happening in the state of Karnataka as well?
Absolutely. It will be a unanimous decision on the floor of the House. I've been speaking to senior leaders from the various political parties, and they are all in one voice across all party lines, across all sections of society. They say that this is a tradition which is 800 years old. It is something that Karnataka has seen as a sport. It is something that reflects the culture of coastal Karnataka. And also importantly, Avantika, we are 1 year away from elections. And definitely the Congress will try to make this political move at this point of time to appeal the vote bank in this part. This is also a BJP it's a hotbed of the BJP. So in a way, we have to see how things pan out for the Congress in the elections with this decision on Kambala. But keeping that aside, looking at it here, we're clearly going to see a unanimous possible decision on the floor of the House when the legislature convenes on February 6th.
Okay, February 6th is the day to watch out for. Rohini, you know, what we saw in Tamil Nadu was unprecedented. This massive outpouring of emotion, protesting against the ban on Jallikat. Do you see similar emotions being played out in the state of Karnataka, similar reactions from the people of Karnataka as well?
Well, emotions are definitely high, but they seem to be showing it in a different way. We saw a 3-kilometer long protest that was taking place in Moodbidri, which is very close to Mangalore, but the place where a lot of Kambalas take place. We have the associations of various Kambalas convening meetings, but the kind of civil movement we saw in Tamil Nadu, a similar kind of situation is not here. It's different in the sense that people are voicing their opinion, they know their government is with them, so they're hoping and pinning their hopes on their government. So the things seem to be already, it looks to be that Tamil Nadu has already done the job for Karnataka. They already have the confidence that things can work out in the legislature, like in Tamil Nadu, in Karnataka. So things are a lot less aggressive in Karnataka compared to Tamil Nadu.
Absolutely. But this is a dangerous precedent, Rohini, isn't it? We talked about this while you were covering the protests, against the ban on Jallikat in Tamil Nadu. Now it is Karnataka. Again, it will be, any other state who will try to question a Supreme Court's order. And that's the big question. How can such emotions, sentiments override an apex court order? And that perhaps explains why the Karnataka High Court has not said much yet.
That is true, because it's may set a precedence. For example, you have Andhra Pradesh and Telangana with their famous cockfights. You have the Maina birds fighting in certain parts of northeast India. You have again bullock racing in Maharashtra. You have similar kind of bullfighting in Goa, in Karnataka, in Tamil Nadu, in Kerala. So everybody will want that ban to be lifted because we are talking about cruelty to animals. But the interesting part is the observation made by the Karnataka High Court. They're saying don't use buffaloes, use horses because they are bound to race. So we are seeing a kind of a softer side of the judiciary at this point of time. But the judiciary needs to take a stand as to what clear-cut stand across the board for all. Okay. Another argument that was being put forth, when I've been speaking to people, is why do you allow elephants during temple festivals in Kerala? If you can allow elephants to be tortured with fireworks and sounds in the temple, why would you not allow the bullock cart races or Jallikat to take place? That was the argument that was being put forth. If you're bringing a ban, bring a complete ban across, or lift the ban on certain things which are not affecting the animals. So in a way, yes, sets a bad precedence, but at the same time, somebody needs to take a stand, and there has to be the Supreme Court who will take a blanket stand on exactly what has to be dealt with such kind of traditional activities.
Stay with me, Rohini. I'm going to go straight across to India today's Akshita Nandgopal, who also very closely covered that outpouring of people and emotions that one got to witness on Marina Beach in Chennai. Akshita, when that ordinance came about in the state of Tamil Nadu, people were far from satisfied. In fact, they thought that the ordinance to circumvent the 2014 ban on Jallikat was half measure. It was an eyewash. Do you think if a similar action or step is taken by the Karnataka state government, that the people of Karnataka would be satisfied?
We'll have to wait and see, Avantika, but the reason we saw that controversy around the ordinance over Jallikattu was also because they believed it could be a temporary ordinance, possibly for 6 months or so, and that's why we saw that outrage. That possibility is also there here in Karnataka, because at the end of the day, the reason we're seeing the judiciary refusing to take a solid stand on sports like Jallikattu, or for that matter on Kambala, is because of the fact that there is the buffalo, the bull, has been mentioned very clearly as one of those animals that cannot be used for performance, that cannot be trained for festivals and the likes, and that's been reiterated here by the High Court as well. So because of that particular technicality, there's no way the judiciary can really step in. So this was really an expected development, that things would go a similar route as to what we witnessed in the Jallikattu Rao as well. The onus is now on the state government. They will have to obviously go the ordinance route, but as far as the PCA Act is present, if they do want really for some permanence wants for these sports to happen in its entirety with absolutely no sort of restrictions, and to ensure that it remains permanent, there will have to be an amendment on that front by the centre as well. So that needs to be done. And as far as whether people will be happy or not, so far we haven't witnessed the kind of anger, the kind of fire that we witnessed in Tamil Nadu, in Karnataka, Avantika. It's been, of course, a growing chorus in several parts of Karnataka, and we'll have to wait and watch to really see what is their sentiment now. We've seen massive protests, not, of course, as aggressive, not as big really as what we witnessed at the Marina Beach, but they will, of course, be disappointed with this development, with the High Court maintaining very clearly that they will not give Kambala a go-ahead. They've put the onus on the Supreme Court. We saw this happening during the Jallikattu controversy as well, Avantika.
Absolutely,
there were several petitions that were forwarded to the Madras High Court, but the Madras High Court took a very strong stand. It dismissed all these petitions, saying very clearly that this is an issue the Supreme Court is hearing. This is an issue that's in the Supreme Court, and we will not intervene. We won't really come into this particular controversy.
All right, Akshita, we'll have to leave it at that. Akshita and Rohini, thanks so much for joining us. We're going to slip into a short break, but we will stay on this big story on what the Karnataka High Court has to say on Kambala. We'll get lots more reactions. Stay tuned. I'll be right back.